Hey guys, it's me, Ethan here, and today we're going to be taking a look at my part 2 of my Brickmania collection. So without anything else to do, guys, let's get right into the video. So now everyone, here is the rest of the Brickmania collection that I have. Now this is going to be the access side. Now, some of you might complain if you know World War II history, is why do I have all the Russian stuff over here? Because weren't they originally like allies? Yeah, they were allies, but again, if you know your history, they originally were with Germany in the beginning part of the war. But sadly, due to Germany now switching sides by attacking I believe, the Eastern Front, they then made, instead of an ally, they made an enemy. But again, I'm mostly including this from pretty much the middle part of the war, and since I didn't include it in my allies video, I had to include it here. Before we do that, before we look at that, guys, I will say if you're new to the channel, please hit the subscribe button and turn on the notification bell if you want to see any future content that involves Brickmania reviews or Lego reviews or Star Wars reviews on anything. Definitely hit the notification bell and the subscription button if you want to see more future content like this, and also leave a like on the video if you like it. So now here we go into the Russian stuff. As you can see here, I have an anti-aircraft gun, or an AA gun, that's supposed to go on the back of the Gaza AA truck. Sadly, I never got that because originally the order that I was supposed to get it, sadly, it seemed like Brickmania actually sold out of the Gaza when I bought it. So luckily, when I actually did pay for it, it didn't pay for the truck. So yeah, if it did, I would definitely been contacting Brickmania about that if they took my money without even giving me the kit. But here you can see, this is a nice little aircraft gun. Very cool. Sadly, it didn't come with the truck, and I really wish and hope that Brickmania does make the truck eventually again, because I definitely want to put that in the back. Then moving on, here we have another, well, now it's not another, but we have the first anti-tank gun. As you can see here, it is a 76, I believe, and this would be operated by, I think, a crew of infantrymen that were trained to use this. I'm not exactly sure if there was an actual name given to the soldiers that operate these guns. I guess you can call them anti-tank troopers. I don't know. If there is an actual name and you guys know that, leave a comment down below saying, or leave it in the comments below saying what it was, what their actual name was. But pretty much that is the only anti-tank gun I have for the Russians. Then moving on down here, now you might think this is an anti-tank gun, but this is actually a regimental gun. And what this is a 37mm cannon, I believe, and this would be mostly just used for infantry support of, I believe, more towards destroying things. It's more of like a field artillery cannon, I guess you can call it, which is pretty cool. Again, it's a small little cannon, would be operated by normal infantry soldiers trained to use it, and that pretty much wraps up most of the Russian guns I have. Then here you can see I also have a DP-28. Now I don't have the gun laid out, but I do have it. I just gotta find it. And then here you can see I have the Russian version of the 50 caliber. This is their own version. Now originally I was thinking it actually came with this crate. Now when I'm thinking about it, I actually had to buy this separately. I don't think it came with that crate. So now we're going to move on to now the rest of the stuff here. As you can see, I did kind of do a transition because, again, not that much Russian stuff. So now we're going to jump to the German stuff. As you can see here, first thing we have are two type of different, I guess you can say, one's artillery, one is a regimental gun, like the one back there, like this one. As you can see here, this is another 37mm, but I believe this wasn't a regimental gun. This is actually an anti-tank gun. This was the original version of the German anti-tank guns before they started using bigger ones due to heavier armor. Because of the French. The B-1 Bis, I believe, is the tank that you want to look at that brought in the 88mm cannon into the war. And that's what they started using against pretty much all of the Allied tanks, just because it was such a high penetration level on 88. So again, this was a anti-tank gun used by Germany during like the early years of the war, I believe. And that's pretty much it about this. And then moving on over here, now we have the actual, forgot the official name for this, but what it is a rocket launcher. Now the Germans always were testing this during World War II. They were testing so many things on rockets. They were testing rockets even actually on like rocket powered missiles, and even they were originally thinking about even trying to get to space, I believe, because of the rocket scientists that they had. So again, this was now the first time I think that the Germans made a missile launcher. I believe it's the first time. Again, this is seen mostly, I think, against Russian troops on the Eastern Front. And if you want to check out the video on this thing, just search up like scary noises of World War II. This will definitely be on there. And moving on back here now, we get to the actual vehicles. As you can see here, we have the Opel Blitz. Now, one thing that's cool about this is Brickmaina has made this now a couple times. Sadly, this time was, I think, one of the last times that Brickmaina was making it, because I guess they haven't made it since then. This is like a 2-year-old set, maybe closer to, yeah, it's closer to 2, I think. And what was cool about this, pretty much shares the same features as many of my other kits I have. It actually has it where you can buy multiple different add-on packs, and then you can actually transform this into a totally different truck, so you can make totally different versions. So again, it had a lot of different add-on packs. One of the add-on packs was actually adding another canvas top to the back here, same as like my American GMC truck I have, which is pretty cool. Now, it did come with a few other ones, I believe, but I can't necessarily think of what the other ones were, so I might be wrong. I may have only came with that one, but again, I don't know for sure. Then moving on here, now we have another sort of armored, I guess you can kind of call it an armored personnel carrier, but I think it's more of a lighter personnel carrier. Very cool set. Now, again, Brickmaina hasn't made that in years. It's been probably 3 or 4 years since they made it. This is a 3 or 4 year old kit that I have. Very cool vehicle. Again, I can't remember what the actual name is, but again, very cool vehicle. Now, I might eventually make a video on this one, so in that video, I will for sure get the name right on that. Then moving on to the front here, now we're actually getting to the German, or more of the more iconic vehicles, which are mostly the tanks that the Germans used. Now again, this one right here isn't a German tank. This is actually an Italian tank, but I included with this because they were on the Axis side until towards 1944, 1943. I think it was more towards 1944 is when they switched sides and now became on to help with the Allies with the victory in Europe. So again, this would be mostly seen in the African campaign back when Germany and Italy were down in Africa trying to conquer land down there, with Erwin Rommel as the head tank commander down there. As you can see here, very nice one. This is the M40/L, I believe. I might have that name wrong too. Again, might make a video on this tank depending if you guys want to see it, and I'll for sure get the name right on that. And this again was like more of a lighter tank, so which is pretty cool. Then moving on here, now we have pretty much the German version of the Italian tank, except this one a lot better because the Italian tanks are just, I guess, bad. They were a meme tank, so they have to be not the good. But here you can see we have the German Panzer III J, I believe. What's cool about this tank is that it actually came with a couple add-on packs. You can actually originally take off the whole turret and change out the whole lower hull here and turn it into the Stug 3, which I was originally thinking about doing because I wanted to buy a second kit and do that with, but never did, and sadly this has since then sold out. It's been sold out now for a year, I think. So sadly you can't get that anymore. But again, pretty cool tank and pretty cool different configurations that you can put in. Then here now we have another Panzer III. And yeah, mostly a lot of my German tanks I have are Panzer IIIs. I don't have a Panzer IV, and I hope to eventually get a Panzer IV Brickmania for makes one again. But here now you can see I have another Panzer III. I did customize this one. Originally, I actually customized this into a Stug 3. So I took off the turret, lower hull, and then just redid it and turned into a Panzer, or a Stug 3, which again eventually changed out to now be replaced by its original tank turret, which is the Panzer III turret. Now again, I did customize this, so this isn't based off the original Panzer III turret. It's actually based off this one, kind of based off the design off of this one, as you can see some of the similarities. But we'll get to that in another video with more of the similarities, but I did mostly do customized work on the turret. Then back here, now finally we're getting to the actual tank that people actually want to see, which is the Tiger tank. Again, I do have a review on this, so I'll put a link in the description below if you guys want to check that out. And I don't think I included this earlier, but I will put a link in the description also for part 1 of this awesome Brickmania collection that I have, which will be mostly pretty much over half of the rest of the Brickmania collection is in part 1. So again, pretty cool tank. I will definitely not say that much because I do have a review on this one, so I don't really have to say that much. Just go check out the review on it if you want to see more or hear more about it. Again, link will be in the description below. Then here, now we have the ambush camo version of the Panther. Now again, this tank has not been made for a while. I think this was back in like 2017 when I actually got this. I think that was the last time they made it as this color before they switched on to the now, instead of just being a camo version, they switched over to a complete tan version of the Panther. I forgot which version it was, but I know it's not this version, right? Because there's many different varieties of Panther tanks that were made. But here, as you can see, this is the ambush color one. Definitely will do a review on this one if you guys want to see it. It's a pretty cool tank. It's got a lot of, I really like the camo on it. It's really what makes it pretty cool. But overall, that's the Panther tank. Again, leave a comment down below if you want to see a video on this. Then over here now, we're finally towards the end of it. We have a German Messerschmitt B109 airplane. Now again, this is based off the older version I believe Dan Siskin created. And this one has not been made, I think, since like 2016, I think. Something like that. Because now it's been replaced by Cody Ocell's version, which is actually very cool. I was actually thinking about getting it too. But sadly, I didn't. Because now I think that's sold out too. So this is a cool plane, so I definitely might do a review on this again. Just to get it out there. Most of these vehicles, like I said, we'll get a review depending on if you guys leave a comment down below saying which one you want to see. Then moving on here now, again, this isn't necessarily a Brickmania set. I actually made this myself, but I based it off the Brickmania kit that they made. As you can see here, it is the 88 anti-air, or I guess you can count it as an anti-tank gun too, because originally this version of it was used as an anti-tank gun, I believe, in France, when it was coming against the B-1 heavy tank of the French army. So again, I made this myself. If you guys want to, like I said, leave a comment down below if you want to see a review on that, because I know mock builders or people who are interested in wanting to build that, again, especially mock builders, definitely leave a comment down below, guys, because I know that would be an awesome addition to either a mock or your collection, because you could do easily a trenched in version of this gun. It would look pretty cool. And then finally now, again, this doesn't really go with anything. You could either do this for the Allies or the Axis powers. And here we have the Brickmania press. Now again, you could probably use this for anything. Originally I was going to use it in a factory build, or a factory mock I was building. Sadly, I had to tear that down due to me having to move to a new house, so never got to finish that mock. Pretty much, guys, that is the video. Now, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. I know this was sort of a little bit boring sounding, but again, what is it? It's a collection video. What else am I supposed to do? So again, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you're new, please leave a thumbs up and make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell to see more future content like this. And yeah, again, leave a like, and I'll see you guys in the next video.